Well, let's put my big mouth.
Wait. Matron, take them away.
And a warm welcome to one and all. If it's your first time here, I am the overgrown child that is the Scruffy Trader. I wonder what gives you that idea when I've still got me toy cars on my desk. But I've also got my favourite toy sitting next to me, and that's Wonder Wink.
Toy.
She's my favourite toy. She really is.
Ask.
Well, you're not really. You're my best friend, aren't you? My best friend. Well, she's my best friend this week because I've decided that we're going to have another mini break next week. Take a couple of days off, go down St Helens on Sunday and Monday, and then back to Blackpool. Why? Well, why not? You know, the markets have been very kind recently, and one of the things that we need to remember about the markets, they're only there to pay us. You know, it's a means to an end. You know, it's my job, and I only do my job so that I can enjoy life. That's what trading is. It's freedom. So, do you think I have freedom?
You do, yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
No, not really. I have to work 18 hours a day just to keep her smiling, you know. I do.
Yeah.
She whinges on like there's no tomorrow. I want this. I want that.
You.
Eh?
You're like a good man.
Well, I'm old. Earned me stripes, but I've also earned my stripes to trade. And that's kind of what I'm doing today. Because trust me, I have opened my mouth again. Bit of a habit, this, really. No, not really. My theory is this. If I say something, I'll stand by my conviction. And unlike what you see in a lot of forums where a lot of people talk hot air, I'll actually back up what I say. And that's what we're going to do now. So it's a little salute to Alex. We're having a bit of a chat on WhatsApp earlier on, a good friend of mine. And he was looking at the pound yen. Now, I opened my mouth and said, well, all right, I'll break it down for him and have a little look at it. But I also like to do this for the guys in the Scruffy Squad. Now, this morning we're having a bit of a sing-song. Why? Because there's a lot of news about today. There's FOMC tonight, but also there's the events in Russia and Ukraine, etc. And it's having a mass effect. So you've got to be a bit careful. And Charlie, little salute to you. It was great catching up with you. You're right. If you can't understand it, stay out of it. It's that simple, you know, because as I said at the start of this, trading is here just to give us freedom. We're not a slave to the machine, you know, or at least you shouldn't be. I spend a lot of time in front of the screens because I love it and I genuinely enjoy it. But I know how to walk away, you know. And if you can't understand it, that's the best thing to do. Walk away. But I opened my mouth to Alex, didn't I? So I thought, well, I better open my mouth to this lot as well. So that's what I've done here is I've dropped it in here and I've done the breakdown of what you guys are about to see now. So what are we looking at? Well, I'm going to short this, all right? And I'm going to short it in the face of this push up. Now, in that video, I said I'd be interested when it gets up into this area. So what I'm looking at, we come out to the daily, we can see that this has been chopping around. It's had a colossal push down, but it hasn't got to the base of this range yet, because that's what that is. That's a range. Okay. So it's working its way back to the bottom. Now it's had a go, slammed back up, but the pressure is still to the downside. All right. And I can see that from this drive and this drop. Push it to the 4 hour so we can see exactly what's going on. And sure enough, there's the drive. It's pushed up. It's stalled bang on these strong levels that I've put in, and they've been verified. And that's why you've got levels on top of levels. They're verifying each other. And it's come down, and each one of the stall points is almost to the pip. So I'm quite comfortable with this. And I'm comfortable that this is moving down. But the trick is waiting for it to come to the right place. Now for me, it starts around this yellow zone up to here. Now I'm going to watch this carefully over the next half an hour to an hour and see if there's an opportunity to get in. And then if it is, I'm going to let it roll over, pick up the trade, and in we go. So the structure of the chart has told me what I need to see. And then the way that I'll structure it down is I'll come down onto a 15-minute chart and I will be looking. Now there's the start of a failure, but I think it still has a little bit of pressure to move. So I'll be watching it carefully. I'll leave the camera running so you can see it, but I've monitored on a 15. But at this moment in time, I'm looking at the hourly. It's still got 40 minutes left to go. So I'm going to see what happens over the course of the next half hour. And what I'll do is, once I start entering the market, I'll leave the camera running as one go. Because I may switch it off rather than sit doing nothing for 40 minutes. Okay? So that's my plan. And then we're going to trade it in, see what we can get. I don't have anything running at the moment. And I've already completed today's trades, as you can see. And I called that one yesterday. If you bear with me, I'll just drop this back a second. Because it was a longer trade than normal, that one. I had to run that one through the night. Because it's a slower market. If I come back to here. There it is there. Finally getting some money out the bugger. And there is the breakdown yesterday at 8:25. That's coming today. So a lot of your homework and your forward planning is important. In fact, it's very important. So let me run this and I'll come back to you with my thoughts on the trade and where we got in, etc. And we'll go from there. Okay, guys, I'm stopped out. Now, tonight there is a major news announcement around 7 and 7:30. So I'm not really bothered. And it's done what I needed it to do anyway. And what is that? Well, it's a very simple task of paying me. If I add all that together, it is a reasonable amount of money, as you can see. Now, what I'll say about when you're working the charts is very simple. Work the chart. And that is exactly what I'm talking about. Because as it's oscillating, moving backwards and forwards in a day trade, I don't know if this is going to reverse at any time. It could slam up, it could slam down. So if I see signals that show me to get out, I'll take part of the trade off here and then build up a single position with what's left. Now what that does is, if it runs, it means I had a decent position running anyway. Might be fragmented, but it means I can manage it as well. And that's kind of what I was doing. Now, I still think this is going to go down, but why be in the markets when I don't need to be? Only a gambler and a fool will do that. The least I'm in the markets, the better. I want to get in, get my money, get out. And it's that simple. However, there is kind of a caveat to that, because I know most of us look for money, and we genuinely do. And we think that it's the money that is the driver for the trades, the markets, what we do. It's not. The money is just a byproduct of the process of the trades that we take. Now, if you haven't got the process off pat, in other words, how to mark your chart, how to get a direction, how to have a first trigger and a second trigger, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be trying to pile in all the time and chase the market rather than work the chart. Hope that kind of makes sense. So just kind of to give you a checklist of what I do, I map my chart out with levels, so I know exactly where it's going to go from point to point. Okay. Once I've got that, I can then make a dominant bias for the day. Now, the dominant bias is just the lesser of two evils. What's that mean? It means it's the one that I think is going to work. So I'll pick my direction, then I stick with it. I do not go both ways in one day. That's dumb. Absolutely stupid just to do that. Once I've done that, and I'm happy, I look for what I call the first stage trigger. In other words, like get ready. Yes, this is almost ready to rock and roll. And then I have a second stage trigger, which is go, you know. So the first one sets it up. The second one is go. And then I manage it, as you see. And manage it means carve it off. Make certain that I've got money in the bank to pay off if it moves against me. And then if it goes for me, I've still got little bits running that can pay me. And then I have a monetary target at the top, because I do work to money targets. As soon as I've achieved that, I'm done. That's it. And then I'll do the same process tomorrow, because day trading is so much different to swing trading. But if you're interested, you want to see how I do it, do pop along to the Scruffy Squad, or there's the free Telegram. By all means, drop into there and have a chat with the guys and sort of express your ideas. But trading ain't as hard as you think it is, guys. It really isn't. It's just a series of filters down into a good trade. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.